Welcome, Rich. I hope you had a great weekend. Looking fresh. Brooks, okie dokie. Welcome. Did you all have a great weekend? I hope so.
Hello there.
I was watching one of your old videos on Christopher Watts. You said he was in a pod with 8 other inmates. I find it strange that none of them don't take a shot at him. Sorry, I had to ask. Oh, it all depends, Rich. What video you're actually referring to? When he was in Weld County Jail, where he's at now. I mean, in the housing unit he's in now, I think there's even more than 8. But they're all in the people who are in that housing unit. It's protective custody unit that he is in. They're all there for similar crimes, or they need protective custody. Better weather, mowed the yard, which is about 2/3 of a block. Wow, that's a huge yard. I haven't mowed mine. I was going to mow it, and then I forgot to turn off the underground sprinkler system. I mean, the front yard, they mow my front yard for me. I just have to take care of the backyard and the side yard. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the stream. Okay, okie dokie. I haven't had a chance to actually answer your question that you asked on a comment that you left on about Jeremy DeWitt. You asked she asked the following, okie dokie asked the following question. Are surplus stores retailing uniforms and accessories that are actual law enforcement supply? If so, why? Why wouldn't uniforms and accessories be destroyed or stored upon a LA officer's end of service? To answer that question, you can go on Amazon and you can buy just about 100% of the actual law enforcement uniform, as Jeremy DeWitt did. He bought his gun belt from an actual local supplier that makes gun belts, and they're not much different from what somebody else might wear, security or law enforcement. The badges and everything else he had made to look like an actual badge of a uniform officer. Now, how do you destroy a shirt or whatever? I mean, if you can buy a shirt and then have it printed with anything on it that you want, or do it yourself, in his case, that's what him and his friends do. Is there's one friend in the group who also likes to dress up like a law enforcement officer, who prints all the T-shirts and polos for them. So you're just buying a basic blank shirt, and they're printing whatever they want on it. Jeremy DeWitt is just an idiot. So I hope that answers your question. But you know, surplus stores, just like military, you can go into, you know, buy a complete military outfit. There's nothing illegal about that. What makes it illegal is trying to act as if you're actually in the service or a law enforcement officer. Brandy Bama, welcome. What do you have against Critical K? I'm kind of confused on who is telling the truth. I don't have anything against Critical K. Did somebody say that I did? I don't have anything against Critical K. So I'm kind of confused as to the, you know, the nature of your question. IRO, welcome. I hope you're having a great weekend. Welcome to the stream. Give it a couple more minutes and then we're going to start playing some trivia. Hi, Judy. Welcome to the stream, Judy. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Did you ever get involved in the JonBenét Ramsey case? What was your conclusion? What did I conclude? Did I ever get into the JonBenét Ramsey case? I sort of, a little bit here and there. I've never actually done a video on it. I've never, you know, gotten that far into it. What did I conclude? I don't know. I mean, I don't know who did it. I know it wasn't her brother. I mean, there was a lot of speculation that it was, but I don't think it was him. I don't know if it was the mother or the father or if it was a complete stranger who, you know, broke in and killed her. I don't know. Must be. Brandy, because I have never said anything ill about Critical K. IRO. I wonder who won your question. About the subscriber? Are you asking about that? IRO? It's good. The poll in the question is up for the next 30 days. So there hasn't been a winner at all. There have been people who have guessed the correct answer. You know, I can say that for sure. Hi, Short Nice. So what do you think about that officer saving the life of a young black woman? She would have been stabbed if he hadn't intervened. That's true. I mean, she'd already stabbed one, you know, the lady with the knife. Well, she's 16 years old, but I'm gonna, you know, refer to her as a lady and not, you know, a teenager. But she already stabbed one, and he had, even if you count the total amount, you know, from the time that he got out of the car and he actually, you know, shot her, a very short period of time to assess the entire situation. And he did have to act. You know, my wife has a different view on the entire situation than I do. So, you know, and you know, I've seen a lot of comments where people said, "Well, why didn't he use a taser?" Well, apparently you've never spoken. The people who say things like that, I have never spoken to a law enforcement officer, or never known anybody who's in the field. Where me and my wife both have. You know, we have a lot of friends who are in law enforcement, and or retired, from law enforcement. And tasers don't always work is the simple answer there, to those who say, oh, well, he should have used non-lethal force. He should tased her. He had to stop the threat. Did she have to die? No. I mean, that's an unfortunate situation, but she was using, deadly force against somebody else. But hello, Sunshine. Welcome. You look great with or without your glasses. Oh, thank you. Hello, Sunshine. I appreciate it. I have my glasses right here. I'm damn near blind without them. I bought a new mount for the monitor that's above the camera here, and so it can actually swivel away from the wall, and I can lower it, and I raise it and lower it and then bring it closer so I don't have to use them as much when I'm working. Yeah, I think that from the time that she stabbed the one girl to the time when she started to lunge towards the other girl in wearing all pink, it was something like 4.5 seconds from the time that it was like, and then she started going for the other girl, and it's like, whoa. I don't know if I can make an assessment that quickly. All right, let's jump into the trivia. So the first question tonight is about Harold Shipman. Harold Shipman was born into a working class poor family. Where? A, Leeds. B, Lancashire. Sorry. C, Manchester. Or D, London. Harold Shipman was born into a working class poor family. Where? A, Leeds. B, Lancashire. C, Manchester. Or D, London. So we got Manchester. We have A, which is Leeds, and B, which is Lancashire. And you're right, Rich. But they're gonna roast him. I mean, the most despicable thing about the entire thing, Rich, is what LeBron James did afterwards by posting the picture of the officer for millions of his followers to see with the caption, "You're next." It's uncalled for. You want people to start using their head and think more critically to ease the race tensions that are out there. Posting a picture of the officer with the caption underneath it, "You're next." For what? What was the point of doing that? What would you look up for that story? The Brianna, the Mia, whatever it was, Mia. I don't know what you'd look up for it. Sorry. Police shooting. I think it was in Ohio. I'm not sure. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Sunshine. Looking forward every Sunday to this. Thanks. Well, you're welcome. So the Mia Bryant, Columbus, Ohio. There you go. Makia. So the question is, Harold Shipman, the serial killer, was born into a working class poor family where? A, Leeds, B, Lancashire, C, Manchester, or D, London? You're going with C, just a guess. And he knew it. LeBron James knew it was wrong because he took it down less than an hour after, or right around an hour after he put it up. But he put it up long enough so millions of his followers saw it. Salty Mele, hello from Arizona, or AZ. Us, no, that'd be AZ, Australia. I'm sorry. My mind's kind of blank today. I read the book, but it's been years. The correct answer to their first trivia question for tonight is C, Manchester. He was born into a working class poor family in Manchester, UK. AZ is Arizona. All right. That's it. My mind is just like, it's cooked. Not enough sleep. The next question. Gary Leon Ridgway was convicted of killing 48 women. How many full confessions did he make? Gary Leon Ridgway was convicted of killing 48 women. How many full confessions did he give? The options are A, around 60, B, around 70, C, around 80, or D, around 100 full confessions. Got one right, Lisa? I don't like the fact that people look up to sports athletes as heroes. The real heroes are the underspoken individuals out there within our society. You want someone you want to idolize or look up to. How about the city worker who makes sure your storm drains are working, or picks up your trash every day and does it, and nobody ever thanks them for doing their job, because without those people, society as we know it would crumble. And I don't want to live in a world where trash piles up on the street. I've been through that. It's not fun. My Wi-Fi went blink. What's the option? All I heard was 100. So Gary Leon Ridgway was convicted of killing 48 women. How many full confessions did he make? A, around 60, B, around 70, C, around 80, or D, around 100? How many full confessions did Gary Ridgway make? Actually, Banfield sucks. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a good weekend. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I think by guessing that, you're probably going to get it right. It's one way to get the right answer, right? Just guess them all. La Man, 72. Okie dokie, I'm guessing A, around 60. Hero is a person who risks their life for no monetary gain. Sports athletes are not heroes. That's true. I bet that a lot of people idolize them and call them heroes. I mean, I'm a sports fan. I get it. There are certain athletes, in sports that they do a damn good job. Maybe they have really good philanthropy that they help out those who need help. But I don't think they should be idolized or be called a hero. I didn't realize you didn't say 90. Nope. 60, 70, 80, or 100 are the options. It's all right, though. I'm guessing, by guessing every one of them, you're bound to get it right. I love the people who turn the power back on after a storm. Yeah. They're the electrical workers, the police officers, the nurse in the hospital, the nurse who works in a rehabilitation center taking care of your grandparents because they fell, and maybe they broke their hip, who helped them back to health. These are the people that we should be idolizing, and looking up to and saying is a hero. Oh, you were telling her the options. Oh, okay. So Gary Ridgway, how many full confessions did he give? The correct answer is B, as in boy, around 70. 70 full confessions, around there. There are, it all depends on which one you can actually say. I think someone already guessed it, 72. But there are two confessions that are also the same incident, same victim, but it was around 70, 72. Love letters from Haiti. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great weekend. My friend's family of 12 have 5 hospitals for C-19, for COVID-19. Wow. And welcome to the stream, Easily Distracted. All right, next question is, which U.S. president was attacked in the incident that the media labeled the killer rabbit attack? Which U.S. president was attacked in what the media labeled the killer rabbit attack? A, Bill Clinton. B, John F. Kennedy. C, Jimmy Carter. Or D, Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. Well, thank you for the super chat, Judy. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Which U.S. president was attacked in what the media labeled the killer rabbit attack? A, Bill Clinton. B, John F. Kennedy. C, Jimmy Carter. Or D, Abraham Lincoln. And I can't turn off the notifications if we get more of those, that noise. Bing. There's not much I can do about it. Oops. Carrie Ludwig, welcome. D, Lincoln, you have no clue? We got C, Carter, D, C, C, I hope. C, D, C, Evening Will. C, C, C. Oh no, Cindy Watts. Ah. C. Which U.S. president was attacked in what the media labeled the killer rabbit attack? Some of us probably are old enough to remember this. It made the news, and was quite the story at the time when it happened. Rupal. Hi, Rupal. Welcome to the stream, Rupal. I hope you had a great weekend. Diana Bowman, I hope. And Rupal said Reagan before the options were even read. So I guess Lincoln was wrong. I tried some of these, the multiple choice questions, where I got them from, on the internet or in books, as I write them down. Some of them only come with 3 options. So, but to fit into the form, I offer 4 options for each one. So I just make up one and I throw it in there. So yes, if you guessed Lincoln, it's probably not going to be correct unless you're, really super old. So which U.S. president was attacked in what the media called the killer rabbit attack? The correct answer is C, Jimmy Carter. It happened while he was on his boat fishing on April 20th, 1974. No joke. It's real. April 20th, 1974. Jimmy Carter was attacked by a rabbit on a boat. Hey, Duty Ron. How you doing, sir? Well, thank you, Duty Ron. I appreciate it. Yep, April 20th, 1974. Jimmy Carter was attacked by a rabbit on his boat. All right. I'm out, guys, walking into Amazon for work, and they take our phones. Have a good night, Ashley Panfield. Sucks. I love saying that. You have a great week ahead. Thank you for stopping in for a little bit that you could tonight. All right. And by the way, I have a friend who works at Amazon in the call center. She works with Unbox, or I think it is, answering questions about digital something. I don't know. I don't even know what Unbox is, but I guess that's the department she works in. Okay, so the next question is, who was the infamous necktie killer? Who was the necktie killer? A, Dennis McCormick. B, Dennis Corwell. C, Dennis Nielsen. Or D, Dennis D'Angelo. Who was the necktie killer? Hi, Sandy. Welcome to the stream, Sandy. Hope I didn't miss anybody else. Right, Rupal? That was when I didn't remember the incident when it happened. Okay, but when I was going through there and I looked it up, the actual story, the first thing I thought of was Monty Python myself. Good call. Good call. But yeah, that's the first thing I thought of was Monty. I thought it was a Monty Python skit. I thought this cannot be real. I looked it up. It was real. I love Monty Python. The Search for the Holy Grail. I think in my collection of record albums, I think I have 3 or 4 different Monty Python records. Right away. You missed me. I'm upset. You didn't tell me hi. I'm sorry, Chatterbox. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Welcome to the stream, Chatterbox. I hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to the stream. TS, best one ever. Holy Grail. Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to do a video. Somebody's asked me to go through my collection of records. I did one once. I don't remember if I uploaded it on what channel I uploaded it on. It might still be online. I don't know. Been a long, long time. It was probably about 2 years ago, I think it was, that I did the video. I mean, the collection's increased, and I've gotten rid of some records and traded them with with friends over time. Yeah, it wouldn't mock you a second time. African Swallow. Get a kick out of that one. Telling that story on Johnny Carson show. You are correct, sir. Okay. Ed McMahon. Okay, who was the famous necktie killer? Dennis McCormick, Dennis Corwell, Dennis Nielsen, or Dennis D'Angelo? The correct answer is C, Dennis Nielsen. Dennis Nielsen lived at 23 Crowell Garden, London suburb of, I think you pronounce it Muswell Hill. So the next question. While in prison, Ed Kemper had several inmates confess to him about murders and crimes that they had committed to try to impress him. While in prison, Ed Kemper had several inmates confess to him to try to impress him. Who was the highest profile killer to do so? Ed Kemper. A, Donald Murray. B, Leslie Allen Williams. C, Shelley Brooks. Or D, John Norman Collins. While in prison, Ed Kemper had several inmates confess to him about murders that they had committed to try to impress him. Who was the most high-profile killer to do so? A, Donald Murphy. B, Leslie Allen Williams. C, Shelley Brooks. Or D, John Norman Collins. Never heard of that one? LeMan? Have you heard of Ed Kemper? We have B, we have some D's, we have an A. But seriously, no clue. Hello, sunshine. No. Kemper is fasting. Kemper scares me. Last night, I think I had a conversation with somebody who, if he's not a serial killer, he is he's definitely thought of or killed someone. It was the most bizarre conversation I've ever had with an individual in my life. Don't know him. Me and Tim, after we went golfing yesterday, decided to go out for dinner. And the place we went to dinner, they have a lounge. It's like a small little tiny lounge, probably 60 people total for the restaurant and the lounge. It's the total capacity right now. I mean, probably more than that, but they have we're only allowed to have so many people in an establishment because of COVID. So, I mean, there was probably 10 people in the place total. That's counting employees. So we got done with dinner and we were like, we're going to go to the lounge and have a beer. So we go in the lounge and sit down, and this guy comes and sits down, like not one chair next to me, but next chair over. And we started talking about Jeeps, and the vehicle. And this guy just, do you ever talk to someone you just get a vibe about, or you just the skin on your arms just kind of like, whoa, you just kind of get like the heebie-jeebies from just talking to someone. That's the way this guy was, and he just something was off about him, and it was the way he referred to people as everyone was in a past tense. Everyone that he talked about was past tense. It was just like, oh my God, this guy's going to kill everybody. Sandy, didn't he kill his mother, Kemper? Yeah, his mother, his grandmother, his grandfather. Killed. So yeah, yes. To answer your question, yes, Ed Kemper definitely killed his mother. He killed his mother and his grandmother on the same day, and before that, he killed his other grandmother and grandfather. Killed his grandmother, shot her with a .22 rifle, and his grandfather was in town. But when his grandfather came back home, to the farm there, he killed him because he didn't want him to have to live with the fact that he was going to be alone, because Ed Kemper had just killed his grandmother. He's like, oh, I can't let him live by himself. It's going to be really sad for him. So he killed his grandfather. My radar for dodgy is sharp. The guy who looked at you with the dark, soulless eyes. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, and I'm sitting there talking to this guy, and I'm like, I would love to get you, to sit down and just talk on, doing an interview with you. And he just looked right at me, and then just goes, you can't live with the stories I could tell you. And I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. I looked at Tim and I'm like, are you done with your beer? We gotta go. He can't live. I couldn't live with the stories that he could tell me. I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. Bye-bye. I got a family at home. I don't want to die. Will, thank you for these Sunday nights lives. 5:30 a.m. comes quickly. I'm off to bed. All my best and all here in the chat. Thank you very much, Duty Ron, for the super chat. I really appreciate that, sir. I really do. And thank you for covering the Orrin and Orson West, story, and keeping everybody else out there, up to date on what's going on. Thank you very much for everything that you've done in the past, for your service, and also for what you're doing now. It's very important. that everybody recognizes that. So thank you. I was told I was going to be killed. He said he'd done it before. His nickname was Killer. No kidding. Whoa, that's creepy. Okay. So our trivia question was, who was the highest profile killer who confessed to Ed Kemper about crimes that they had committed out here and to try to impress him? The correct answer was D, John Norman Collins. They called him the Yipsity Ripper. I'm probably mispronouncing that though. But he confessed to him about crimes that he had committed out in the general public. John Morris Collins was convicted of just one murder out of the 7 that he had committed. Why? This is the next question, ladies and gentlemen. John Norman Collins, the answer to the last one, was convicted of just one murder out of the 7 that he committed. Why? A, agreement with Canada to not kill him. They took the death penalty off the table, basically. B, lack of evidence. C, violations of his civil rights. Or D, it was too costly to try him for all the murders. Why was John Norman Collins only convicted of one of the 7 murders that he actually committed? You accidentally interrupted his bull game, so he was going to kill you? Is Ed Kemper still on death row? I don't know. I don't even know if he's alive, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I haven't checked in on Ed Kemper in a long time. I'd started to work on a documentary with an individual who used to work for Vox, VOX media. And I don't know what happened to that documentary. Yeah, I don't think they ever finished it because I never got notification of when it was ever going to be released. Maybe they did. I don't know. That was at least a year and a half ago. John Norman Collins was convicted of just one murder out of the 7 that he committed. Why? Why was he only convicted of one murder and they didn't do anything with the other 6, basically? An agreement with Canada to take the death penalty off the table. B, lack of evidence. C, a violation of his civil rights. Or D, it was too costly to convict him. He is still alive, Lisa says. I know an awful lot about Kemper. It's that part of that. Sorry about that. I can't turn off the notifications from Facebook right now because I'm actually right now. It's got another almost 15 minutes of I'm working on a video and it's transporting and downloading files right now in another window, so I can't turn the notification off. But as part of that documentary, I learned a lot about Kemper. Huge man. Well, I think he was like 6'8" or 6'5". Really, really big, intimidating individual. But John Norman Collins was convicted of only one murder out of the 7 that he committed. Why was he never? Did they never charge him with the other murders, or prosecute him for the other murders? The correct answer is an agreement with Canada to take the death penalty off of the table. As part of that agreement, they said, we won't convict him of the other murders and we'll take the death penalty off the table. He was in 1970, he killed Eastern Michigan University student Karen Sue Bremen. 6'9". He's a big man. Big man. But the answer was A to the last one. An agreement with Canada to take the death penalty off the table because he's a Canadian citizen. It's notifying that you've been extra wise. What about the family if all his victims? Sad. Yeah, that's true, Lisa. But that was part of the agreement. The agreement they entered into was to take the death penalty off the table and not convict him of the others. I mean, he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole in exchange. But at least the families had closure in the fact that maybe they didn't get an eye for an eye for what he did, in punishment wise, but they were able to put some kind of a closure to it because they knew who did it, where their family member was, and everything else. So they got that much, back for it. I do believe like 3 of the women he killed, they didn't know where their bodies were. They never found them. But he confessed to it, and he led them to where their bodies were. It was all part of the agreement. It's like, if you tell us what you did, and we'll only convict you of this one, give you life in prison. All right, next one is serial killer Albert Del Savo. Albert Del Savo was sold like you sell something. Albert Del Savo was sold by his father to a farmer in Maine, along with his 2 sisters. Really happened, ladies and gentlemen. His father sold him and his 2 sisters. Excuse me. Whatever became of his sisters? Whatever happened to Albert Del Savo's 2 sisters? A, they have eventually escaped. B, the state took them away from the farmer who had purchased them all. C, they lived normal lives there on the farm with that farmer in Maine. Or D, Del Savo's mother eventually came and got them back. What did happen to Albert Del Savo's sisters? A, they escaped. B, the state took them away. C, they lived normal lives there on the farm. Or D, Del Savo's mother came and took them back. What happened to serial killer Albert Del Savo's sisters? Yeah, I don't know if the families actually agreed to that okie dokie, because when that all came down with John Norman Collins, that was before the laws and stuff were put in place. A lot of those laws were that gives they like, okay, we have to get the families to agree to this plea agreement. A lot of that is really because of Sharon Tate's mother. She was a huge supporter of, and she got a lot of victims' rights, put into laws in different states, because they didn't necessarily have to even talk to you. The state didn't before they entered into these agreements, with murderers. So, and I think that case actually took place before that actually happened. So they might have talked to the families and gotten an agreement with them. But what happened to Albert DelSavo's sisters? Gina M. Bentley. Gina, hello in Utah. Welcome. I don't know this one. It's a true crime weirdo from Boston. Albert DelSavo. What happened to his two sisters? The question is, serial killer Albert DelSavo was sold by his father to a farm in Maine along with his two sisters. What happened to his two sisters? A, they escaped eventually. B, the state removed them. C, they lived a normal life there on the farm with the farmer in Maine. Or D, Robert DelSavo's mother came and took them back. It figures why good old Albert didn't turn out so great. Well, I'll tell you a little bit more about Robert DelSavo. So after his father sold him to this farmer in Maine, Robert DelSavo ran away and ended up back home with his father. And his father was a drunken, he's an alcoholic and very violent individual who would beat Albert, beat Albert for no reason at all. He was just drunk and he needed a punching bag, and Albert just happened to be that punching bag. And his father told him, he goes, if you're going to live here, you're going to make yourself useful while you're here. And as a young child, he made Albert go into stores and he taught him how to shoplift. And he taught him what to steal and what not to steal in a store, and how to get it and how to get away with it. And so, and if he didn't steal whatever he wanted or whatever he needed from the store, he would make Albert basically stay outside like a dog, and he treated him. There's a lot of things if you look at it that says this is why he actually became this way, But his father was just cruel for no reason at all to him. I mean, he sold him. He sold him and his sisters off to a farmer. He probably used the money for alcohol or gambling. Poor boy. I'll bet he wished he had stayed sold. No, he wanted to be there. See, his father he was beating him and his sisters. He would beat them, and then he decided he was going to sell them. He sold them off to this farmer, in Maine, and then Robert ran away and went back home. And his father was okay, but he knew what he was going back to. But callous, yeah. Albert. I don't know why I always want to call him Robert. It's not his name. It's Albert. So I'm sorry about mixing it up there. For some reason, every time I see the word, the last name DelSavo, I always want to say Robert DelSavo. It's Albert. But what happened to his two sisters? Did they escape eventually? Did the state take them away? Did they live a normal life there on the farm? Or D, did Robert's mother eventually come and take them away? The correct answer to this trivia question is D. Robert DelSavo's mother came and eventually took them back from the farmer. She had to pay him back exactly what he had paid for the two girls. And Albert DelSavo's mother, not Robert, Albert DelSavo's mother had a lot of mental health issues. And she didn't have a lot of money, but and it didn't happen right away. She knew where the girls were and that he had sold the three children to this guy. But she had to save up and she had to basically raise the money herself to buy her two children back. because of her mental health issues, and she was in and out of the hospital so much, both of his sisters didn't live with her. They eventually went to live with an aunt of the family, and they lived out a normal life with that extended family member. Excuse me. She cared greatly for her children. She just, when I was reading up on it, particularly about Albert DeSalvo's mother, I think she may have been schizophrenic, but I can't say that for sure because I wasn't able to ever find any articles that actually said what her mental health issue was. It's just and you have to think about the time and the context of it. They used to, they called it women's issues. That was how they actually listed them, or that they had hysteria. That's how they would list women on the actual documentation for why they were in a mental hospital. They would list, like Albert's mother would be listed as reason for hysteria. I mean, that would, or women's issues, hysteria. So you have to think in the context of the time. And they would necessarily write down, she's schizophrenic, well, manic depressive. They didn't write things down like that, for the intake records. And I couldn't find anything that actually spilled, out what her actual mental health issues were. She just went back and forth between the hospital a lot. Being out, she'd be out for 5 months, 6 months, a year, sometimes at a stretch, and then she'd be back in for another half a year, another 6 months, somewhere in there, But all right, moving on to the next question, ladies and gentlemen. What name did the police in Spokane, Washington, originally give to Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer? What name did the Spokane Police Department first give to Gary Ridgway, obviously before they knew it was Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer? A, the Up River Killer. B, the Boulevard of Dreams Killer. C, the PR Killer. I gotta put my glasses on. I gotta read my own stupid writing. Oh, the PR Killer, the Prostitute Killer, or D, the Happy Killer. What name did the Spokane Police Department originally give to Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer? A, the Upriver Killer. B, the Boulevard of Dreams Killer. C, the PR Killer. Or D, the Happy Killer. What did they originally give the name of the case for Gary Ridgway and the Green River Killer? A, the Upriver Killer. B, the Boulevard of Dreams Killer. C, the PR Killer. Or D, the Happy Killer. Moonlight didn't see it. Moonlight View. Welcome to the stream, Moonlight View. Heather 77. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Retired Sergeant Melinda. Welcome. Welcome. I saw you on Duty Ron's stream the other day. Or was it this morning? I don't know. I watched so many of them today, so many different YouTube channels today. But either way, retired Sergeant Melinda, welcome to the stream. The topic, I'm lost. I just came in. We're playing crime trivia. I read the question. Each question has 4 choices: A, B, C, or D. It's multiple choice trivia. True crime. Some of them are serial killers. Some of them are just crimes. But it's a mixed bag of a little bit of everything. But welcome to the stream anyways. Lexi. Hi, sweetheart. I'm sorry I missed you. I hope you had a great weekend. Duty Ron sent you over. That was really nice of him to do that. He's a hell of a guy. I'm really happy that I found his channel. Actually, I think he was actually originally Duty Ron was suggested to me by someone else, another creator. I think maybe we were talking about the same case around the same time. But I mean, I'm really happy that I found his channel and his content, and I'm glad that he's covering the Oren and Orson West story. It's important. We need to find those boys. Whatever the outcome really is, we need closure for the family. So, what name did the Spokane Police Department originally give to the case? Gary Ridgway and the Green River Killer. What was the original name? The Upriver Killer, A. B. The Boulevard of Dreams Killer, C. The PR Killer, or D. The Happy Killer. He's a great guy with a big heart. Yes, and he sticks to the facts. He doesn't dive into the drama and all the other stuff out there that people love to do. He keeps it real. This is what it is. Here's the people that that we need to talk to. These are the people that like Byron Wang, and other former police retired police officers as well. He really he dots his I's and crosses his T's, and I really respect that. 12-step woman, welcome to the stream. 12-step woman, how are you doing tonight? I hope you had a great weekend. It does. It's a crying shame. Welcome. Man of his word. He definitely is. I think he's got to be around 33,000 subscribers now, or somewhere in there, 36,000. So hopefully, the growth keeps on going in his direction. I tell everybody, I every chance I get, you got to check out Duty Ron. You got to check out his channel and his content. He does a damn good job. I wonder why they are former. It's not always they had a great career. Patricia, Daly, Heather, he gives us so much knowledge. He does. Hi, Interpeas. Welcome to the stream, Interpeas. I'm sorry, I was scrolling through there, looking to see if there was anybody else I missed. I hope I didn't miss anybody else, but welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great weekend. Glowworm, welcome. How are you doing? Did you have a great weekend, Glowworm? Well, thank you, retired Sergeant Melinda. I appreciate that. All right, so what was the name that the Spokane Police Department originally gave to the case? Gary Ridgway and the Green River Killer. The correct answer is A. The Upriver Killer was the original name for the case. Next question. If the Candyman can, so can I. Who was the Candyman killer? A. Mike Pence. B. Mike Magoo. C. Dean Brown. Or D. Dean Coral. Who was the Candyman killer? Oh, I'm sorry about that, retired Sergeant Melinda. You have lupus? My heart goes out to you. I have a friend who has lupus, and it really sucks. Um, without my glasses, sweetheart, I can't see all that great myself. I'm sitting here. I'm trying to. I even bought a new mount for my monitor so I can actually move away from the wall. So this camera that we're actually I'm using right now is about 2 feet from me, and the monitor is right above it. And this is what, a 65-inch TV that I use for a monitor, and I'm sitting here like squinting just to be able to read that. So yeah, I understand that. Sandy says Dean Coral, Sergeant President today. The President, does that help you though? I hope so. Lipids totally disturbs one's life. I have a friend with it. Yeah. So who is the Candyman killer? If the Candyman can, so can I. Who was the Candyman killer? A. Mike Pence. B. Mike Magoo. C. Dean Brown. Or D. Dean Coral. You may have to step away and wash your eyes. Okay. We will still be here. Inner Peace is going with the. Sorry about that. I think I can turn that thing off now. Gina is going with D. Glowworm C. Inner Peace, I was going to say, is hedging her bets and going A, B, C, and D. You like the PC window, Rupal? My son has found a YouTube channel where all they do is they play the video is nothing but Windows sounds. All the different notification sounds and everything else for Windows is startup sounds, for all the different versions of different Windows. He loves to watch it. Glowworm, where was the Candyman's crimes committed? Houston, Texas. Or at least that's where, he was eventually caught, was in Houston, Texas. Oh, yeah, but he loves it. He'll sit and watch it for, well, if I allowed him to, he would sit and watch those videos for hours. But I don't allow him to. All right, the Candyman. Who was the Candyman killer? The correct answer is D as in dog, Dean Coral. Or I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Coral, I think it is. Your son is 5. Yeah, mine won't be. My son won't be 5 until July. So, but he loves the sounds. The repetitive motion and sounds and stuff like that. It's kind of it's very quiet. It's very subdued. The other thing that he just recently stumbled across that he likes to watch is ASMR videos. I have no idea what the heck, his fascination with them is, but he likes it because there's not very much. It's not loud. There's never going to be any, anything that's too distracting for him or over the top. So I guess it actually, it serves its purpose for that, and he likes it. So, all right, next question is the Son of Sam. What was the name the police gave themselves for the task force? Sorry, start over. Got me scratching my nose, and during that, the Son of Sam. What was the name of the police gave themselves for this task force to catch the Son of Sam? A, the Omega and the Orion Task Force. B, the Omega Group. C, the Alpha Omega and the Orion 2. Or D, the Alpha Omega. What was the name of the task force for that the police gave the name that the police gave themselves for catching the Son of Sam? A, B, C, or D? The Omega and Orion group task force. B, the Omega Group. C, the Alpha Omega and the Orion 2. Or D, the Alpha Omega. Roxanne, welcome to the stream, Roxanne. I hope you had a great weekend. Inner Peace is going with A, B, C, or D. It's one of those. Good. All right, I'm still here. I haven't gone anywhere. This is fun. Well, great. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, 12-step woman. Tracy, welcome. Tracy K. Lee. Is it pronounced like Kaylee? But Kaylee? Or I don't know, maybe it's like your middle initial is K and the last name is Lee. Either way, welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great weekend. Drowsy Doll 1964. Hello. Welcome to the stream, Drowsy Doll. Pretty Camo. Hi, sweetheart. I hope you had a great weekend. Retired Sergeant Melinda is going to take some medication and lay down. Shh. Everybody be quiet. We don't want to disturb her. Lisa, you missed a question. Okay. The speaking of the Son of Sam, what was the name of the task force the police gave themselves to catch the Son of Sam killer? The options are A, Omega and Orion, B, the Omega Group, C, the Alpha Omega and Orion 2, or D, the Alpha Omega. What was the name the police gave themselves for their task force to catch the Son of Sam killer? Stardust Inner Peace is my best cheating partner. Cops would know this sort of question. Deneen, welcome. How you doing? Welcome to the stream, Deneen. I hope you had a great weekend. I am doing great, Deneen. Thank you for asking. I had a great weekend. Very relaxing. I didn't get much sleep last night though. Me and Tim got in at about. We got back to my house at about 3 a.m. and I had to get back up at 5. So I'm working on only a couple hours of sleep. I didn't have to get back up at 5. I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and I don't even own an alarm clock. There's just something about my body. 5 a.m. I wake up. If I don't get out of bed, I just lay there staring at the ceiling. And I'm like, Jesus, why am I awake? Why do I have to wake up every day at 5? One of these days, I'd love to be able to sleep in. Okay, it's Irish. I'm Irish myself. My father was second generation Irish from here, so I guess I'm third generation. Child from Ireland. Okay, what was the name of the task force the police gave themselves? The correct answer is B, as in boy, the Omega Group. Drowsy doll, I cheated. Yeah, I have a coffee maker. It's already set to go off, but it brews the pot of coffee. I think it's set for 4:45, so it makes it, and it's already done by the time I come downstairs. Pour a cup of coffee, check the news. I start answering, comments on my videos. I do that for about 3 hours, and because I get thousands and thousands of comments, and questions daily on all my videos, or on my live streams. I've been at this now for a little over 2.5 years on YouTube, and I've released over 800, was almost 600 videos that are public. There's another 160 or so that are for channel members only, and then there's the Saturday morning live streams that I do, which is just a general conversation. I've done 138 of those, 139 I think I'm at right now, somewhere in there. And then the Sunday trivia I just started. But you take all that content, and I get thousands of emails and questions, about it every week. And then there's the ongoing other work and everything else I have to do. All right, but let's move on to the next question. What percentage? All right. So we're looking for, it's A, B, or C, or D. What percentage do all serial killings combine total in the United States yearly? What percentage of all serial killer killings are, percentage-wise? A, 10%, B, 1%, C, 20%, or D, 50%? Oh, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Sunshine. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. What percentage of all serial killings combined for the into the total number of killings per year in the United States? A, 10%, B, 1%, C, 20%, or D, 50%? We got DC. Rupal, you're doing great. Will, love your chat and your work. Oh, thank you very much, Rupal. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for all the work that you do for me. And, as a moderator, I really appreciate that. And everything else. Thank you. Yeah, I think you're on the Facebook group, right? As a moderator. Lisa is going with B, 1%. In her P's, sticking to with her theory. If I guess A, B, C, or D, I'm going to get it right. And you're right, Inner Peace. You are batting 1,000 by guessing A, B, C, and D. You have gotten every one of them. You're killing it. What percentage of all serial killer killings combined total in the U.S.? How many? What percentage of serial killer killings? 10%, 1%, 20%, or 50%? Tracy's going with D, 50%. Twelve-step woman. Rupal, remember me? Judy Socket, I like you, Will. You are down-to-earth guy. Well, thank you, Judy. I don't have time for, to be anybody else. People make fun of me for saying that all the time. But this is who I am. I don't know how to be anything else. I don't think I'd want to be anybody else or act any other way. This is just me. People either like me or they hate me. 10% of the 90% of killers don't eat cereal. Serial killer. Got that. Retired Sergeant Melinda says 13%. You love your true crime shows? Nice. I'm from Canada. Will is good peeps. Well, thank you. Thank you, Inner Peace. I appreciate it. What percentage of all the killings that happen in America annually are from serial killers? A, 10%, B, 1%, C, 20%, or D, 50%? The correct answer is B as in boy, 1%. Only about 150 murders every year are committed by serial killers. Well, thank you for the super chat. Really nice of you to do that. Retired Sergeant Melinda. 13%. Love y'all. I cheated. 2021 was 13%. Oh, retired. All right, one second. I have to do something. I'm still here. I mean, you can all see me. I just have to check something really quick. All right, this is where I got the information. I'm not trying to contradict anybody. But this is what I got from the FBI's website on that last question. All right, next question. What is the second most dominant race of all serial killers? What is the second most dominant race of all serial killers? A, Asian Americans. B, Native Americans. C, African Americans. Or D, Caucasian Americans? Second most dominant race of serial killers. Who is number two and then who's number one? I guess, right? You can figure out what race is the number one most serial killers. Who's second? A, Asian Americans. B, Native Americans. C, African Americans. Or D, Caucasian Americans? Who is in second place? D-A-E, the mafia. But in her piece, there's no E option. There's no E option. A, B, C, D. Just kidding. Okie dokie. Repeat, please, Will. What is the second most dominant race of serial killers? What is the race of the second most? Who commits the second? There's obviously one race that is the most dominant for serial killers. Who is the second? Who's in second place? What race? A, Asian Americans. B, Native Americans. C, African Americans. Or D, Caucasian Americans? What is the second? We're looking for number two. Who's in second place? Oops. E. Whites are most prominent. C, African Americans. Lisa's going with African Americans. African Americans, second most dominant race. White serials most dominant. Gone Girl is going with A. Second, and E. Stardust is going with E. I feel maybe African American from all the TE docs and research I've seen. Drowsy Doll is going with D. Plastic Caucasians. First is Caucasians and second is black. We'll find out in a minute. We'll find out in a minute for sure. E. Chucky. Watch out for Chucky. Yeah, it didn't give me an option for stuffed animals or dolls. You would think that dolls would be on here. Like Anthony Sowell from Cleveland. I think I might have a question on here about Anthony. He might be in here. I don't know if we're going to get to him tonight. One of the questions are about him, about Anthony Sowell. Clowns. Gone Girl is going with clowns. Yeah, I don't think clowns are the second most, but they do freak me out. Clowns. Yeah. I actually know a couple that back when they had the America's Funniest Home Videos, they won $10,000 on America's Funniest Home Videos, but they're professional clowns, and they had actually they dressed. I don't know if they're. I don't remember if they were dressed up as clowns, but they played "She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain," the song. They did that with bicycle pumps underneath their arm, and making the noise. That won $10,000 on America's Funniest Home Videos. The original show. I think that was it Bob Saget that hosted it back then? I don't remember, or if it was somebody else. But it was back when the show first came out. Who is in second place? We'll just call it that. Who's in second place? Asian Americans, Native Americans, African Americans, or Caucasian Americans? The correct answer to this trivia question is C, African Americans. In case you're wondering, Caucasian male, is the number one race of the most, for most serial killers is Caucasian. African American is number 2, and then it's Latino, and then after Latino it comes Native American, and then Asian American, in that order. But next question. According to the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, which trait do almost all serial killers have? According to the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, which trait do almost all serial killers have? A, extreme upper body strength. B, resourcefulness. C, they're great liars and manipulators. Or D, they are easy to blend into society. They can easily blend into society. Narcissism, Gardner, psychopaths. Drum roll, please. How about some cowbell? Cowbell. Repeat, please. According to the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, which trait do almost all serial killers have? A, extreme upper body strength. B, resourcefulness. C, they're great liars and manipulators. Or D, they're easy to blend into society. More cowbells? I got it just because, I was suggested it. I looked into also Glowworm, if you're here still. Glowworm wants me to look into bongo drums. I looked on Amazon this afternoon for bongo drums, and I won't spoil it, but there may be bongo drums coming in our near future, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Landstrom. Do you pronounce it Landstrom? I hope so. I don't mean to butcher it if I'm wrong there. What's going? Going with D. Welcome to the stream, Ryan. I hope you had a great weekend. According to the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, what trait do almost all serial killers have? A, extreme upper body strength. B, their resourcefulness. or C, they're great liars and manipulators, or D, they can easily blend into society? At least get a triangle. Or we're going to end up eventually just in. This will be the live stream of musical instruments, huh? I really do have a snare drum in the house. I bought it for, I think it was like a Halloween costume or something like that several years ago. Me and a bunch of friends, we all went to a Halloween costume party, and we dressed up like as the Beatles. And guess who got to be Ringo Starr? Yeah. But I bought it. I bought that, and I have an Elvis outfit costume. It's like the jumpsuit. I think I wore that on one of the streams once. Well, that was for a birthday party. Our friend was having her birthday, and it was I think it was the 1970s was like the theme for it, and so I was like, Elvis, 19 fat Elvis, and I was like, I can do that. Ringo, get a flute, Connie. Yeah, I don't know how to play the flute though. I mean, cowbells, I can figure that out. I got a stick. I don't know. I have no idea where this came from. It had to be like a dowel or something. I don't know. I found it on my workbench. Hammered dulcimer, harmonica. I have a harmonica. Now, I have a real harmonica. Not like a child's like plastic one, but I have a real harmonica. I'd have to think about where it's at. Probably in my bedroom and put away with the. I got it belonged to my grandfather. When he it might be actually in here up inside I have one of those plastic tubs that has keepsake stuff in it. But when he after he passed away, I got all of his ties and all his suits, and I got some books and stuff like that and watches, and I got a harmonica that's in there with it. Mementos that I'll keep the rest of my life. But okay, what trait according to the American Psychiatric Association, one trait that almost all serial killers have? The correct answer is D, as in dog. They easily blend into society. According to the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, the correct answer is D. I fucking hate this thing. There. I finally caught the stupid thing so I could turn all the notifications off. Sorry for swearing, by the way. You should have someone make a quilt out of the ties. I actually, Pretty Camel, I actually wear them. Some of them I can't wear, just anywhere. They're a little bit on the risque side. That you can turn the tie inside out, and they're nude pinups in the insides of the ties. You can open them up like that, and so you don't see it from the outside. It's got a nice design, but you turn the tie over back from the backside, and you can actually open up the flap, and they're pinups in there from these ties from like the 1940s and 50s. They're my grandfather's. All right, next question. Which serial killer was known for beheading and dismembering his victims? Which serial killer was known for beheading and dismembering his victims? The options are A, the Green River Killer, B, the Son of Sam, C, the bind, torture, kill, or the BTK killer, or D, the Cleveland torso murder, otherwise known in mass media as a CTM killer. Which serial killer was known for beheading and dismembering his victims? Little Rada Bobbitt. Oh, he went on to do porn. Drowsy Doll, 1964. Gold Cup for You. Bloody Do It mostly. DDD, a lot of D's. I don't think anybody's guessed anything else different. Which serial killer was known for beheading and dismembering his victims? Bobbitt. Mia Sanders. Welcome to the stream, Mia. I'm not sure if I said hello earlier, but welcome anyways. I hope you had a great weekend. Alley Cat, hello, welcome to the stream. And Alley Cat is going with A. Jeffrey Dahmer did that too, but yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer, he definitely, but he's not one of the options, but Jeffrey Dahmer definitely dismembered, his victims, put them in barrels, kept parts of them in his refrigerator. Yeah, one sick son of a, hard to choose when you're talking serial killers. Yeah. Cleveland D, he dismembered victims and was sick and usually due to race. Which serial killer was known for beheading and dismembering his victims? Lisa, I dated a man who did this. Wow. I'm sorry, Lisa. Hannibal Lecter with a nice Chianti and fava beans. Dahmer? Yeah. He's definitely it was sick son of a, Which serial killer was known for beheading and dismembering his victims? The correct answer is D, the Cleveland torso murderer, otherwise known as the CTM killer. You watch Volcanoes or something? I've never watched Volcanoes before. I bet that's relaxing though. It's got to be something different than true crime and and all the carnage. I mean, I live in this, true crime. Some of the stories that I've never done videos on, but things that I've read that people will do to each other. It's sad. All right, next question. What do you call a serial killer who believes they will financially gain from their murders? What do you call a serial killer who believes they will gain financially from their murders? A gain killer. B, a rewards murderer. C, a profiteer. Or D, a money killer. What do you call a serial killer who believes they will financially gain from their murders? Deluded. Yeah, you're with Okie Dokie. What does CTM stand for? It stands for the Cleveland torso murderer. CTM. It all depends on where you actually learned of the case on the nightly news there, they called it the Cleveland torso murder. They actually spelled it all out. But in print media, there in the Cleveland area and in around there, in the newspaper, they actually abbreviated a lot to the CTM killer. But same person. See here. The next question, the question we're on right now is, what do you call a serial killer who believes they will gain financially from their murders? A gains killer, B, a rewards murderer, C, a profiteer, or D, a money killer? An extortionist. Gains killer, Susie Orman. I don't think Susie Orman's killed anybody. Sasha Johnson. Welcome to the stream, Sasha. What's the answer? Well, I'll give you the answer in just a minute. Wait for everybody to finish up and guess. See, I'm clueless. LOL. All right. What do you call a serial killer who believes they will financially gain from their murders? The correct answer is A gains killer. And in case you're wondering, there is federal law is called the Son of Sam law. That it's commonly called that. It's not the actual name of the law, but they call it the Son of Sam law. That makes it so you can't profit from your crimes. If you kill someone, you can't profit from it. Joe Exotic. All right, next question. What was the official IQ of the trash bag killer? What was the official IQ of the trash bag killer? Was it 160, B, 180, C, 190, or D, 210? What was the official IQ of the trash bag killer? A, 160, B, 180, C, 190, or D, 210? Son of Sam scared the crap out of you, Judy? I'm sorry. Never heard of him, Connie? Ooh. Well, maybe I'll do a video on him. I've got a whole notebook of things that I probably could do a couple of videos on the trash bag killer. What was the official IQ of the trash bag killer? Oh, he is dead. I think. Nope. Born September 24th, 1939, age 81 years of age. He's still alive. I thought he was dead, but apparently he's still alive. What is the official IQ of the trash bag killer? A, 160, B, 180, C, 190, or D, 210? Sounds trashy, Sasha Johnson says. Sounds trashy. Trash bag killer. Please do a video on him. Is very gifted in a lot of different ways, not just intellectually. He worked on, I don't know if he was the one that had the actual patent or not, but or maybe it was a group that he worked with that has several different patents. The trash bag killer. Load of rubbish. The correct answer for this one, what was the official IQ of the trash bag killer? The correct answer is B, as in boy, 180. Patrick Kearney. Patrick Kearney is an American serial killer, serial rapist, cannibal, and necrophiliac who preyed on young women in California between 1962 and 1977. He is sometimes referred to as the freeway killer or the trash bag killer, a nickname he shares with two other separate serial killers, William Bonney and Randy Kraft. The trash bag killer, Patrick Kearney. And no, he hasn't. A lot of people, made the mistake of thinking that Patrick Kearney is not the same, as the football player, what do they call him? Financer. He works in finance now since he's retired from the NFL. But they have the same exact name, spelled differently, but same name. Okay, next one. What was the sentence given to Louis Garvito after he was convicted of killing 139 young boys? What was the sentence given to Louis Garvito after he was convicted of killing 139 little boys? A, life in prison. B, 30 years in prison. C, the death sentence. Or D, 10 years. What was the sentence given to Louis Garvito for killing 139 little boys? Nathan is William H. Boney as Billy. What? I'm sorry. I was reading it and went by. I'm going to scroll back up again. As in Billy the Kid. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Billy the Kid's real name was. I saw something on the History Channel about Billy the Kid and about how they think that he faked his death. And that the person who was really killed wasn't really him. And that he had made his way off to like New Mexico or someplace like that. But it was on the History Channel. It was special about Billy the Kid. It was not too long ago that I seen it. But anyways. Have I read the next question yet? No, and no. Okay, we did that one. Okay. What was the sentence given to Louis Garvito for killing 139 little boys? A, life in prison. B, 30 years in prison. C, the death sentence. Or D, 10 years. The correct answer to this one is B as in boy, 30 years in prison. Louis Garvito was sentenced to 30 years in prison for killing 139 little boys. What? 30 years. They should have buried his ass under the prison. All right. So next question. Serial killer William Hearns was known for leaving lengthy messages after and before killing his victims? What was his method for leaving these messages? William Heerens was known for leaving lengthy messages before and after killing his victims. What was his method for, leaving these messages? A, he wrote the messages in blood. B, he wrote the messages in feces. C, he wrote the messages in crayon. Or D, he wrote the messages in lipstick. Serial killer William Heerens was known for leaving lengthy messages after and before killing his victim. What was his method for leaving these messages? Not just letters. He wrote them on the walls. He wrote them on mirrors. He wrote them everywhere. But he wrote also letters. He wrote and very lengthy messages, very grotesque messages. Retired Sergeant Melinda says D, lipstick killer. We got a lot of lipstick killer. D, C, D, 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 C, D, 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 B, blood. Stardust says sanitizer, wash hands, D, lipstick. Please don't say feces. Billy the Kid had two aliases, Henry McCarty and William H. Bunny. That was on the documentary that about the Henry McCarty. Was that really him? Or was it somebody else who was using the name? It was a look-alike. There was something like to that effect in there. I will answer what retired Sergeant Melinda answers. Gonna go with that. Huh? You never know. She could be absolutely correct on all of her guesses. Serial killer William Heerens was known for leaving lengthy messages after and before killing his victims. What was his method for leaving these messages? What's with Billy the Kid? I don't know. He just asked a question or posted something about it. So I was just, answering along with it. I just said that I saw a documentary not too long ago. It was done by the History Channel on Billy the Kid. But anyways, what was the correct answer to the last trivia question? The answer is D, lipstick. And yes, as retired Sergeant Melinda had pointed out, he was called the lipstick killer. You go, girl. I'm not always right, but I did a lot of papers in criminal justice. That's cool. Stardust. Finally, I won. There was a movie, Lipstick. I didn't know that. All right. So this one is kind of it's crime related. It's crime related. What was the last cost saving deal done on the RMS Titanic before it sailed? What was the last cost saving deal done on the RMS Titanic before it sailed? A, less lifeboats, more wine. B, more guns, less champagne. C, less caviar, more body bags. or D, more fuel, less shrimp? What was the last cost-saving deal done on the RMS Titanic before it sailed? Well, thank you for the super chat, 12-step one. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Did you, Nathan? Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the content since the the Watts case started. We got a lot of A's, some D's. D. LaMan is going with D. Connie's going with A. What was the last cost-saving deal that was done on the RMS Titanic before it sailed? Less lifeboats, more wine. B, more guns, less champagne. C, less caviar, more body bags. Or D, more fuel, less shrimp. What was the last cost-saving deal done on the Titanic? Retired Sergeant Melinda is going with A. 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 Drowsy Doll 1964 is going with A. Lifeboats. Yes, very good content. Well, great. I'm glad you like it. It's always nice to hear, people enjoy the content. That some people have been around for quite a while, but I'm not sure why they don't ever watch the content, but some people do. Then they really enjoy the work that I put in. So it's good to hear that you enjoy the content. Alley Cat, enjoy this, Will. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alley Cat. I appreciate the super chat. I really do. So what was the last cost-saving measure that was done on the RMS Titanic before it sailed? The correct answer is A. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, A is the correct answer. Less lifeboats, more wine. They decided not to carry extra lifeboats on the ship because, well, they needed to balance out the ship for weight-wise, and they can only take so much weight. Well, counting all the passengers. So don't need the lifeboats. We need the wine. There were enough lifeboats. If each and every lifeboat was used properly and they loaded the proper amount of passengers in every single lifeboat, there were enough seats for only 1,178 passengers. Yeah. Not even 1,200 passengers could have escaped the Titanic on a lifeboat. And the other reason was they didn't have enough lifeboats or escape vessels for anybody on the Titanic was because it was an outdated security measure. And it's crime related. It's a crime to not have enough lifeboats for all the passengers are going to be on the ship. All right. Drowsy Doll, 1964. You didn't cheat. Fatal Decision. We made a lot of decisions, and there really were. I think it was total. There was like 100 different shotguns on the Titanic. There really were guns there for skeet shooting. They had them on the Titanic or something. I don't know. but they were in the inventory. I'm only guessing, why would have that many shotguns on board the Titanic for, but they had them. All right, which serial killer inspired Alfred Hitchcock's 1927 film The Lodger? Which serial killer inspired Alfred Hitchcock's 1927 film The Lodger? A. Bruno Lutke. B. Jack the Ripper. C. The Green River Killer. Or D. William Burke. Which serial killer inspired Alfred Hitchcock's 1927 film The Lodger? The options are A. Bruno Lutke. B. Jack the Ripper. C. The Green River Killer. Or D. William Burke. Excuse me. Which serial killer inspired Alfred Hitchcock? Well, thank you, the man. I hope you have a great week ahead. Definitely. Thank you for stopping in tonight. The man. Le man. And by the way, in case you guys haven't seen this movie, it's a great movie. You really should see it. I think you probably at this point in time, I don't think it's streaming anywhere. You probably you can find it on Amazon. I think it's fairly cheap too. I'm going to look it up right now and see what it costs on Amazon. You can rent it on Amazon for $5.99, or you can get the audio book for free with the Audible, or you can buy it. I mean, it's been remade so many times. And I do not have an affiliate link or anything like that, but you can rent it on Amazon for $5, $6. I mean, for $6, or you can buy it for $13. The DVD of it. It's a great movie and an even better book. But which serial killer inspired Alfred Hitchcock's 1927 film The Lodger? A. Bruno Lutke. B. Jack the Ripper. C. The Green River Killer. Or D. William Burke. What is the movie called? The Lodger. Lodger. The Lodger. The correct answer to this is B, as in boy. Jack the Ripper was the inspiration for Alfred Hitchcock's 1927 masterpiece, the film The Lodger. The title alone is scary. Okay, next one. Angelo Bruno was one of the killers in what duo in the late 1970s? Angelo Bruno was one of the killers in what duo in the late 1970s? A, the Mountaintop Killers. B, the Hillside Stranglers. C, the East Side Terrors. Or D, the Mukbang Killers. Angelo Bruno was one of the killers in what duo in the late 1970s? Alicia, welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great weekend. Wickander? You pronounce it Wickander? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Options again, okie dokie. I'll read the whole thing again for you. Angelo Bruno was one of the serial killers in what duo in the late 1970s? A, the Mountaintop Killers. B, the Hillside Stranglers. C, the East Side Terrors. Or D, the Mukbang Killers. Angelo Bruno. It was a great weekend. Good. That one scared the crap out of me. Lived in California at the time. Lisa is going with B, the Hillside Stranglers. I think I saw this free on YouTube. The Alfred Hitchcock's The Lodgers? Might be. Might be on YouTube. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's on YouTube. Illegal, versions of, so like somebody's playing the movie and they just pointed a camera at it. Videos of, Frozen. That just to name one that I know for a fact is on there that it's illegally, redistributed. So I wouldn't be surprised if The Lodger's on there as well. But Angelo Bruno was one of the killers in what duo in the late 1970s? The options are A, the Mountaintop Killers. B, the Hillside Stranglers. C, the East Side Terrors. Or D, the Mukbang Killers. Angelo Bruno was part of a duo in the late 1970s. Mia is going with B, the Hillside Stranglers. Read the book on the Hillside Stranglers. Ooh. Is it a good, would you recommend the book? D, I guess, because I don't know. By the way, you can skip back on lives to hear things again, like options. Yeah. All right. The correct answer for Angelo Bruno was part of what duo in the late 1970s? The correct answer is B as in boy, the Hillside Stranglers. And I didn't know what this was myself, retired Sergeant Melinda. Mukbang is a real thing. You can look it up on YouTube. It basically people eating massive amounts of food, and the microphone is right there, so you get to hear every single disgusting chomping, slurping noise of somebody eating food. I watched one guy eat 13 Big Macs, and you heard every crunch and bite of every burger. There are people who will eat, sit down and they'll eat like just the most disgusting amount of food, and it's called mukbang. Ugh, ugh, just gross. My son stumbled across that. The same person he watches that does AMSR. It has a couple videos of mukbang where she is eating an extraordinary amount of cupcakes. There had to be like 60 cupcakes, in front of her, and she sat there eating each and every one of the cupcakes. Just watching the video gave me diabetes. So. I didn't know the answer. I had no idea what mukbang was. I just learned what it was just the other day myself. I was like, this is gross. Why would anybody do that? Some of them are real cruel, like love animal fish mainly. Huh. It's a fetish, right? I guess. I don't know why anybody would watch somebody eat like that. I really don't. But there are people that are into that though. I met somebody who actually does live streaming, and that's all they do is people chime into their live stream just to watch them eat. They give donations, super chats for them to eat certain things. Like, hey, eat that bowl of pudding that's in front of you, and they'll have like a massive bowl of pudding, and they just sit there and eat the pudding because somebody paid them a super chat to eat it. That's all they do. They make no other content except for just live streams, and eating things. They eat for money because it's apparently it's a turn on for some people. All right, moving on to another question. What killer said the following just before dying in the electric chair? What killer said the following before dying in the electric chair? And this is a quote. You just have to figure out which person actually said this. How about this for tomorrow's newspaper headline? French fries, end quote. Which serial killer said that line? How about this for tomorrow's newspaper headline? French fries. A, James French. B, Larry French. C, Johnny Fry. Or D, Philip Fry. Which serial killer said, how about this for tomorrow's newspaper headline? French fries. Retired Sergeant Melinda is going with A. Yeah, right. I guess whatever floats people's boats. As long as they're not harming anybody else, and do your thing, I guess, right? I have a problem when it crosses the line where people are being hurt, or children, or or somebody's doing it to hurt, harming an animal or something, on purpose for their own enjoyment. I draw the line there. What serial killer said the following before dying in the electric chair? How about this for tomorrow's newspaper headline? French fries. A, James French. B, Larry French. C, Johnny Fry. or D, Philip Fry? Yeah, gotta eat anyways, so might as well get paid to do it, I guess. You know, I don't understand it though. I really don't. I'm not trying to mock it or make fun of it. It's just, like the one that my son was watching. Well, the video that he stumbled across there on this lady's channel. That she all she does is AMSR, but that many cupcakes though, and she ate every one of them, and she couldn't weigh but I don't know, $150. She's just this little tiny skinny Japanese lady, and she just ate so much food. Apparently people like that. And the channel that the lady just sat there and ate because people were giving her super chats to eat, I guess. What serial killer said, "How about this for tomorrow's newspaper headline? French fries." The correct answer to that one is A, James French. 1966 in Oklahoma. You couldn't watch it? The movie Feed? I've never seen it myself. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. Phil Pot. Should be censored? I mean, I'm censored enough the way it is on YouTube. I've had videos that YouTube is blocked because I was telling the facts around a case, but they said it was not how'd they put that? They have these stupid canned replies. A lot of times it doesn't really match to the actual video itself. Their favorite one for demonetization of my content is I always get demonetized because or limited ads are being shown on this content, yellow, because it's a blood or gore is being shown. I don't have blood or gore in any of my videos. I never have and I never will. But blood, gore, catastrophic loss of life. I mean, I'm talking about an actual case that happened in real life. But that happens a lot, with YouTube. They only want to allow the news to be reported by the major news outlets and from around the world. All right, next question. We're gonna cover Charlie. Charles Manson had a nickname for every woman in his circle. Every woman in his circle, he had a nickname for. What did he call all of the members in his circle? What did Charlie call all of those members in his circle? A, the Crazy Clan. B, the Family. C, the Bunch. Or D, the Psycho Bunch. What did Charles Manson call all the members in his circle? The Crazy Clan, the Family, the Bunch, or the Psycho Bunch? Spaghetti Nonna, welcome to the stream. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. The Family. So it seems like a lot of people are guessing the Family right now. Purple Rupel says I know this. I know this one. Charlie. Ah. Charles Manson had nicknames for every woman in his circle. What did he call all the members in his circle? This was an easy one, Sandy. The Crazy Clan, the Family, the Bunch, or the Psycho Bunch? The correct answer is B, as in boy, the Family. He called them all the Family. He gets on your nerves. Charlie does. E, the Brady Bunch. Connie, you've always been freaked out by the Manson. The the town that I live in, right now, today, at this moment where as I'm doing this live stream, I'm saying that because I never know if the video is going to be on YouTube forever. 10 years from now, I don't know if I'm going to be living here, but I only say it for that context. But about 3 miles from here is the home that Sharon Tate lived in when she was in high school, and they have a sign up in the front as you walk up to the house, says no photography, no videos at all, and it's all on surveillance. But the house is still there, where Sharon Tate lived when she was in high school. Oh, can't photograph it, can't take any video of it, and apparently they have the right to be able to do that. Stop people from taking photography or video of the home. I don't know if it's changed over the years. I mean, it's an older home. I think it was built in like the early 40s. I mean, like so many of these homes around here were. All right. Which of the following smiled for his booking photo when arrested for murder? Which of the following smiled for their booking photo when they were arrested for murder? A, Jeffrey Dahmer. B, Ted Bundy. C, John Wayne Gacy. Or D, Gary Ridgway? Who smiled for their booking photo when they were arrested for murder? Sharon Tate, yeah, near you. Seen it, Will? Oh, I drive by the house that she lived in probably 30 times, a month, if not more. I mean, I know where the house is. Everybody's in this area where I live. Everybody knows where the Sharon Tate house is. It's kind of one of those things. It's like, oh, if somebody's looking for direction, you have to stop and think for a second. Oh, you're not from this area? Because I was going to tell you to go down here till you get to the Tate house, and when you get to the Tate house, it's the next corner after the Tate house. It's just something you just say because everybody around here knows where the house is. It's not even that it's not a big house. It's not a fancy house. It's just an average house. Her dad was in the Army at the time, and there are certain houses that were built in this area for Army officers and their families, and then there was homes that were built for the working class and for enlisted officers, and then there were homes that were built for the city workers. Is it that smiley face killer? Who smiled for their booking photo when arrested on murder charges? A. Jeffrey Dahmer, B. Ted Bundy, C. John Wayne Gacy, or D. Gary Ridgway. And is it the smiley face murderer? No. But I guess you could call him that, though. But that wasn't the name that they called this person. Inner Peas, yeah. And her face at the pose angle, I remembered it. Oh, Jodi Arias. Jodi Arias deserves to die. Just plain Ted Bundy. Deb does readings. Hi, Deb. How are you doing? I hope you had a great weekend, Deb. Welcome to the stream. Of the four options, only one of them smiled. That's your hint right there. Of the four options, only one of them smiled when arrested on murder charges. Good. I'm glad you had a great weekend, Deb. All right. Which murderer smiled for his booking photo when arrested on murder charges? The correct answer is C. John Wayne Gacy. Only one of all of them that smiled for his booking photo. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't smile. Ted Bundy didn't smile. Nor did Gary Ridgway. But John Wayne Gacy gave a big smile when arrested on murder charges. It looked like he was having his photo taken for like a driver's license photo, except for the fact that he was arrested and was being charged with multiple counts of murder. He just smiled like it was nothing, but none of the other ones did. Ted gave a smirk. Yeah, figures Gacy. Yeah, what a clown. Yeah, he was definitely a clown. Katrina Middleton, thank you for the great content. Got to go to bed now past midnight in New Jersey. Well, good night, Katrina. And thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. It was really nice of you to do that. All right. For the next two questions, we are going to dive into the Department of Justice website's information on killers and criminals. Okay? The next two questions come from the Department of Justice. What is the most popular name for a male criminal in the entire U.S.? What is the most popular name for a male criminal in the U.S.? Your options are Terry, A, B, Ted or Teddy, C, John or Johnny, or D, Jeremy. What is the most popular first name for a criminal? All crimes, every type of crime. All right. What is the most popular name for a male criminal in the entire United States? A, Terry, B, Ted or Teddy, C, John or Johnny, or D, Jeremy. What is the most popular name for a criminal male? Inner Peas, Bob. Bob. So Bob's not an option, though. No Robert. No Bob. Jerry LO, because he didn't know one. All crimes, not just murder, all crimes. Doesn't matter, from petty crimes to serious crimes and everything in between. The most popular name, first name for for a male criminal in America? I hope it's Jerry. What about Bob? Bob got left off the list. Bob was right there. He was almost there, but he didn't quite have enough. But Bob's going to come back next year. He's gonna he's hoping his numbers will be up to par next year. Sugar Shins. Here's Johnny. I don't know. I'm Canadian. It's true. All right. What is the most popular name for a male who is, criminal in the entire United States of all crimes? The correct answer is D. Jeremy. No kidding. All right. This per 100,000 people, Jeremy. Of 100,000 people, 119.85 per 100,000. Johnny is Jeremy number one. Johnny is number two at 114.09. Ted is 105.62, and Terry is 102.91 per 100,000 people. Jeremy is number one. So the next question, just like that one, but for females. What is the most popular first name for a female criminal in the entire United States? Everything from the simple petty little crime to the major crime. What is the most popular name, first name, for a female criminal in the entire United States? Your options are A, Tiffany, B, Rhonda, C, Karen, or D, Kelly. What is the most popular female name? Jody. Jeremy who? Jeremy is the most popular first name for a criminal. Person when they take the crimes that have been compiled, from petty to major crimes, according to the Department of Justice, the most popular first name of a criminal who has committed a crime per 100,000 was Jeremy. Well, we got a lot of Karens. We got a Bonnie. Well, there's no Bonnie on the list. Karen. It has to be Tiffany. Rupel. I'm going to die laughing if it's Karen. Oh man, Karen half a, but it's Karen. LL. Boom, boom. Okay. Karen, nosy Karen. Matilda. What is the most popular first name for a female criminal in the entire United States? Tiffany, Rhonda, Karen, or Kelly? Guilty. Guilty is their first name. Okay, the correct answer is Tiffany. It's Tiffany, ladies and gentlemen. It's not Karen. Tiffany, 114.82 per 100,000. Rhonda is number two at 112.09. Karen is 106.13, and Kelly is 91.82. Most common crimes committed by someone with the name of Tiffany. Anybody want to guess that as a bonus? What do you think that Tiffany is out there committing? What kind of crime do you think a Tiffany commits? Tiffany and Jerry sitting in a tree. KSSING. First comes love, then comes marriage, then a baby carriage. I don't know why that popped into my head, but thank you. Now it's there. Theft, shoplifting, indecent exposure, husband killer, bank robbery, shoplifting. Well, you're right. The most common crimes committed by Tiffany are fraud and theft. The least on the scale, going all the way down to the very last one, there's something like 400 different names on the list, but the lowest one is Marsha. Per 100,000, it's only like 7 out of per every 100,000. Marshas are out there committing crimes. So if you know anybody named Marsha, they're usually not, a criminal. So. All right. Next question is about Juan Corona. How many people did Juan Corona really kill? How many people did Juan Corona really kill? A, 105. B, 115. C, 25. Or D, 29. How many people did Juan Corona really kill? Marsha. Marsha Clark. Fraud and theft, how boring, I know, right? Is he related to Jose Cuervo? Juan Corona. We have 3 questions left after this one. 3 left after this. How many people did Juan Corona really kill? The correct answer is C, 25. He killed 25 people. Next one, Randy Stephen Kraft. Randy Stephen Kraft, known as the Orange County Killer, targeted young men with a military background. Why? Why did Randy Stephen Kraft, the Orange County Killer, target young men who with a military background? Now, don't get confused by they called him the Orange County Killer. He didn't just kill in Orange County, California. He actually traveled from Michigan to California and back all the time. But that was just the name they gave him, the Orange County Killer. Why did he target men with a military background? A, he couldn't get into the military. B, he was kicked out of the Army. C, he was hurt by a gay military officer who rebuffed his advances. Or D, he simply hated the military. Why did Randy Stephen Kraft target young men with a military background? Google, what a name. Good night, Connie. Thank you for stopping in tonight. You have a great week. Read again, please. Hello, Sunshine. Randy Stephen Kraft, known as the Orange County Killer, targeted young men with military background. Why? A, he couldn't get into the military. B, he was kicked out of the Army. C, he was hurt by a gay military officer who rebuked his advances. Or D, he simply hated the military. Why did Randy Stephen Kraft target young men with a military background? Retired Sergeant Melinda says he hated the military. C's got some A's. Inner P's, good night. Oh, no, Inner P's, Inner P's, good night, sweetie. Connie saying good night to Inner P's. A, got some B's and C's. Randy Stephen Kraft, the Orange County Killer, which I think is a stupid name for him since he didn't kill all of his victims in Orange County, California. But I don't pick these things for him. Targeted young men with a military background. Why? The correct answer is D. He hated the military. There was no other reason for him to pick people who obviously had experience and knowledge to be able to defend themselves. He just hated the military. Dawn Marie. Hey, Will, wanted to come in and say hello. Hi, Dawn Marie. How are you doing tonight, sweetheart? I hope you've had a great weekend. Thank you for stopping in to say hello. So the next one. Richard Ramirez was convicted of 13 murders after he was sentenced. How many more murders was he connected to with DNA? Richard Ramirez was convicted of 13 murders. How many was he connected to by DNA after those 13, convicted of those 13 murders? A, 10, B, 11, C, 1, or D, 21. Richard Ramirez was convicted of 13 murders. After he was sentenced, how many more murders was he connected to by DNA? 10, 11, 1, or 21? Bad teeth and bad breath, Richard Ramirez. Yeah. Lisa's going with 11, I guess. I remember that POS. The Cecil Hotel. The Cecilia Hotel, downtown Los Angeles. There's a channel that I watch. It's called German in Venice. He was going around and showing photographs, famous photographs, and matching them up to the actual location where these photographs were taken. And that was one of the. It was a picture of, I want to say, Sebastian Bach in front of the whole hotel. Sorry, everyone. Hold on. Good night, Will. Have a great night. Well, you too. Hello, Sunshine. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate you being here tonight. Aren't we talking about the Night Stalker? Richard Ramirez. Yes. Convicted of 13 murders. After he was sentenced, how many more murders was he connected to by DNA? The options are 10, 11, 1, or 21. Oh, that was really nice of him to do that. It was really nice of Duty Ron to do that, Dawn Marie. That's cool. He stopped in for a little bit here in this stream, sent me a super chat. It was really nice of him to do that. I really appreciate Duty Ron. I so enjoy his content. I like people who just give you the facts and actually really work at making sure that the right information is being told to everybody out there, not diving into all the rumors and speculation and drama that so many other channels love to live on. He doesn't. He stays away from that, and he puts everything out on the table. Here are the facts. This is what you need to know, what is going on, and here's the update in this case. I really appreciate what he's doing, and I'm just blowing smoke up anybody's butt. I really do appreciate that, and I don't think that enough people really, initially when somebody tells you the truth, are able to intake that information and understand that. Here's the facts. You can lay them out on the table for them, and then say, "Look, you can make up your own mind." And we both are basically doing the same thing. Like here are the facts in the case. You make up your mind of what really happened here and what took place and what the punishment should be. So, Richard Ramirez was convicted of 13 murders. How many more was he connected to by DNA? The correct answer is C, 1. He was connected to 1 by DNA while after he was sentenced. 11, 1. There have been a handful of cases. Retired Sergeant Melinda that Richard that have been believed to have actually been caused by Richard Ramirez. But and when it came to actually factually saying, look, this one was actually Richard Ramirez, the evidence was there or DNA connected him to it, but there was only one that was officially, put on his side. But Richard Ramirez, of course, he's that sick son of a, never going to tell people exactly if he did it or not. All right, this is the final question for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Which serial killer confessed to dozens of murders, led the police to the bodies, wrote out the actual confession to the actual murders, told the police where he kept the trophies that he collected from each and every one of his victims, and was never convicted of a single murder? I'll read that over again to make sure you get that correct. Which serial killer confessed to dozens of murders, led the police to the bodies, wrote out a confession to all the murders, told the police where he kept the trophies that he collected from every one of his victims, and was never convicted of a single murder? Not one. Who is it? A, the Hillside Strangler. B, the West Compton Killer. C, the Marsh Killer. Or D, the Boston Strangler. Which serial killer confessed to dozens of murders, led the police to the bodies, wrote out a complete confession to all the murders, told the police where he kept the trophies he collected from every murder victim, and was never convicted of a single murder? Deb does reading. My narcissistic neighbor. I'm so sorry you have a neighbor that's a narcissist. I'm really sorry about that. West Compton. Stardust didn't even cheat. Sandy Tino, thank you for coming. It was fun. Inner Peace has got a narcissistic neighbor as well. Little Miss Sunshine. I don't remember if I said hello to you earlier. If I saw you in the stream, but Little Miss Sunshine, welcome to the stream. This is the last question for the night. We're ending it right at about 3 hours for the stream for tonight. My voice is like can barely read these anymore. Never heard of that case. The Marsh case, Marsh killer. I think the Marsh murders happened. I want to say it was like the Alabama, Louisiana. And late 70s, early 80s, right in there, I think it was. Don't hold me to that one. I'd have to go back and actually look at my notes on it again. But which serial killer confessed to dozens of murders, led police to the bodies, wrote out a confession to all of the crimes that he committed, told the police where he kept the trophies from every one of his victims, and was never convicted of a single case of murder? The A, Hillside Strangler, B, the West Compton Killer, C, the Marsh Killer, or D, the Boston Strangler. The correct answer is D, as in dog. The Boston Strangler was never convicted of a single case of murder, charge of murder. He was arrested and convicted and sentenced to life in prison for a series of robberies and sexual assaults. He was stabbed to death by a fellow inmate at the Walpole prison in 1973. But he was never convicted of a single charge of murder and died at the hands, the prison shank that got him in the end. Yeah. Hello from the Smoky Justice Janie. Hello from the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Well, Justice Janie, this is it. We've run out of time for tonight. This stream is ending, and everyone, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you all have a terrific week ahead. And just remember, if you have to, take it hour by hour, minute by minute. Make the best of it and stay safe out there. And again, next Sunday we will be back at it again for more crime trivia. 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Adjust your time to wherever you are in the world. But also Saturday mornings I do a general conversation. There are other creators who I'll be doing it forever now, but and I'll be doing it forever in the future. We get together and we just talk and catch up with each other. Maybe they don't use their screen names of their channels, but just general conversation. Everybody, how are we doing? What the weather like? But that's Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I mean, I stay in the same time zone for each of my streams. But everyone, thank you again. I really hope you had a lot of fun. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. I'm okay with that. I will work on making it better. If you leave a comment down below and tell me what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. I strive to try to make my content better each and every week. So again, Everyone, thank you again and stay safe.